Today, we're going to tackle a really tough, uncomfortable question. It's one that honestly a lot of us try to ignore. In the face of a dying Earth, what is our role in all of this? So let's start with this really powerful idea. The planet is sending out this constant distress signal, basically a scream for help, but we don't hear it. Why? Because we're just surrounded by the noise of our own lives, our phones buzzing, our work deadlines, all our distractions. We've kind of learned to be deaf to the warning. And look, this isn't some abstract idea. It's right there in our everyday habits. While actual forests are being cut down, we're focused on making reels. While rivers are literally dying, we're just counting lakes. The real-world destruction is happening, but our focus and what we value is all happening on a screen. Then the whole argument goes a step further, into a future that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but feels a little too close for comfort, right? Imagine a world where you have to pay for air, where water is something you rent. Even then, the suggestion is that our first reaction would be to just blame some vague, broken system for it all. But here's the twist. This is where the whole thing just flips on its head. That system we love to blame, it isn't some machine out there. It's us. It's all of our individual choices, our collective silence, and what we all decide is important. We're the ones who built the very thing we're blaming. And that realization brings us right to our first section, the planet's silent scream. This is the question at the heart of it all. It takes the focus off of them, the governments, the big corporations, and it puts it squarely on you. Suddenly the problem is personal, and there's no easy answer. So when we're faced with a question that big, what do we usually do? Do any of these sound familiar? Just ignoring it, scrolling past the bad news, that feeling of what can I even do alone? Or maybe you feel that flash of anger, but then the next notification pops up and you forget. The argument here is that we've gotten so used to bad news that destruction is actually starting to feel normal. And this normalization is a huge part of the problem. The source describes what's happening not as some big, sudden disaster, but as a slow poison dripping into the system. So what does that actually look like? For a lot of us, climate change can feel kind of abstract, but think about it from a farmer's perspective. The change from predictable weather to just brutal extremes is literally the difference between life and death. What used to be a gentle, reliable rain is now either a flood that wipes everything out or a drought that kills it all. This isn't just weather anymore, it's a threat to survival. And it's not just the land, it's the water. There's this incredibly powerful line. In a country where rivers were once seen as mothers, as givers of life, today those same rivers have become living corpses. That's a huge shift, from something sacred to something toxic and dead. It's a symbol of everything we're losing. Then there are the forests. Calling them oxygen factories isn't just a clever phrase, it's literally what they are. The source wants us to see every single tree that falls, not as just a tree, but as a real, measurable loss in our planet's ability to breathe. It's one less breath for our future. Okay, so facts and figures can only take us so far. To really make this hit home, the source tells us a story about a guy named Ravi, but really, it's a story that could be about any of us. So Ravi, he's just a normal guy. He's got a job, he's got his phone, he loves his weekend parties, he's probably a lot like you and me. He's not an activist, he's just a person with this memory of swimming in a clean river as a kid, a river that's now nothing more than a chemical drain. So when this crisis literally hits home, when his own mother gets sick from the water, what's his first reaction? It's exactly what we talked about earlier. He gets angry. And he points the finger everywhere else, at the government, at the factories, at that vague, broken system. It's a totally human response. And then comes this gut punch of a realization. The factory he was blaming, the source of all that pollution. He worked there. He was drawing a paycheck from the very place that was poisoning his family. He was part of it. This is Ravi's big moment of clarity, and it's the core message of his story. The line between being a victim and being a contributor just disappears. The problem isn't just some enemy out there. It's woven right into our own lives. So what does Ravi do? Does he quit his job and become this huge activist overnight? Nope. And that's the whole point. His actions are small, practical, personal. He starts with himself, then he talks to people around him, then he starts to speak up at work. It proves you don't have to save the entire world to start making a change. Ravi's story is great. It shows a path forward, but it makes you wonder,
If we know there's a problem, why is it so hard for so many of us to take even those small first steps? Why do we wait? Well, this next part dives into the psychology behind our own inaction. The source really boils it down to these 3 core beliefs that just keep us stuck. First, that comforting thought that, there's still time. Second, the hope that some hero, a scientist, a leader, is going to come along and fix it for us. And finally, that little nagging voice in our head that says, what I do is just a drop in the ocean. It's too small to matter.
But this timeline here, it's a pretty brutal reality check for that we still have time idea. It lays out one possible future if we stay on our current path. Our rising concerns today become a full-blown crisis in about a decade, and by 2050, we're living in a world we'd barely recognize, where wearing a mask to breathe is normal, and nature is something you see in old videos.
And that leads to maybe the most haunting question of all. It's not about us anymore, it's about who comes next. And the question they'll have for us isn't angry or accusatory, it's just this simple, heartbreaking question. Why didn't you think? Okay, so this brings us to our final section, and the question we all have to answer. And the source is really direct here. This isn't just another piece of content to watch and forget. This is meant to be a warning. This last part really just puts everything into perspective. It strips away all the noise. Our politics, our beliefs, our chase for fame and followers. Because if the Earth dies, none of it matters. All of it goes away. And the only thing left will be that one single regret. If only we had woken up sooner. And so, here we are, right back where we started with that same question. But maybe now it feels different. It feels heavier. The source doesn't give us an answer. It leaves the question with us, as a challenge, as a responsibility, and maybe as a final chance. The Earth is dying slowly. What will you do?